Hello there, and welcome to Man's Wild, where we explore the wild. From the scorching savannas to dense jungles, there's one small animal with a reputation far bigger than its size. Feared by predators, unfazed by danger, and famous for doing things its own way, this is the honey badger. Today, we're diving into the wild, fearless, and surprisingly smart life of one of nature's toughest survivors. Get ready, because the honey badger doesn't play by the rules. The land wakes slowly. Before the sun crests the horizon, the earth is cool, firm, and quiet. Insects vibrate beneath the soil. Small mammals retreat into shadow. The night loosens its grip, but danger does not leave with it. Danger is permanent here. Beneath the surface, where roots knot together and stones press tight, a tunnel curves through packed dirt. It is not neat. It is not comfortable. It is functional. This is enough. Inside this space, life begins. The honey badger is born blind, hairless, and unaware of the reputation it will one day carry. There is no knowledge of fearlessness, no understanding of the world's hostility. There is only warmth, darkness, and the steady presence of its mother. She does not linger for sentiment. Survival allows no excess. Her body curves protectively, conserving heat, conserving energy. Outside, the world continues without pause. The young honey badger breathes. Instinct awakens first.
The den smells of earth and musk. The air is heavy, unmoving. Every vibration from above, a footstep, a distant call, the scrape of claws, travels through the soil and into the body. The mother senses everything. She leaves the den only when hunger demands it. When she does, she seals the entrance loosely behind her, disguising absence as permanence. The land is full of animals that would take advantage of a moment's weakness. The young one remains still. Stillness is the first lesson. Time passes without measure. There is no day or night here, only cycles of warmth and cooling, feeding and waiting. Growth happens quietly. Bones strengthen, muscles tighten, skin thickens. And then, slowly, vision arrives. At first, the world is blur and shadow, movement without meaning, light without shape. The den expands beyond sensation and becomes space. The honey badger cub stirs. Curiosity is not taught, it emerges. Small paws press against the dirt. Claws scrape clumsily, leaving shallow marks on the tunnel wall. The sound is new, the sensation is new, the response is immediate. The mother freezes. Her body becomes rigid, alert, listening. Danger is always assumed until proven otherwise. Only when nothing follows does she relax. The cub learns without instruction. Movement brings attention. Attention brings consequence. This knowledge embeds itself deep, long before words could ever exist.
Weeks pass. The cub grows strong enough to stand, then to walk, then to stumble forward with purpose. The den feels smaller now. The scent of the outside drifts inward. Grass, insects, distant animals, and something sharp and alive. The mother does not encourage exploration. She allows it when readiness shows. One evening, when the heat fades and the air cools, she moves aside. The opening is revealed. Light floods in. The outside world is overwhelming. Sound crashes in first. Birds, wind, insects, movement everywhere. The ground is uneven, alive. Scents overlap and compete, each one demanding attention. The cub hesitates. The mother does not. She steps forward, confident, deliberate, her body low,
but unafraid. The cub follows, uncertain but compelled. This is not bravery. This is instinct, refined by generations of survival. The first outings are brief. The cub stays close, watching everything. Every step the mother takes is studied. When she digs, the cub watches the angle of her claws. When she sniffs the air, the cub mirrors the motion without understanding why. Food is introduced without ceremony. Small prey, insects, soft-bodied creatures uncovered by digging. The cub eats clumsily, learning texture, resistance, taste. Hunger sharpens attention.
Danger appears early. A shadow passes overhead. The mother reacts instantly, pushing the cub flat against the ground. Her body positions between threat and offspring without hesitation. She does not run. She waits. The shadow moves on. The cub feels the tension, the release. Another lesson is learned. Not everything requires attack. Not everything requires escape. Sometimes, survival is patience. As days become weeks, confidence grows. The cub digs on its own now, inefficient, messy, but persistent. Dirt flies backward, small tunnels collapse. None of it matters. Persistence matters. Failure is not corrected, it is endured until success appears. This is how honey badgers learn. The mother expands their range gradually. New ground, new scents, new risks. The cub stumbles into thorns, recoils from ants, startles at sudden movement. Pain is information. The honey badger does not avoid discomfort. It absorbs it, catalogs it, and moves forward. The cub begins to understand something fundamental about this world. Nothing here is gentle, and nothing here waits.
One evening, they encounter bees. The air hums. The scent is rich, sweet, dangerous. The cub reacts instinctively, backing away as insects swarm. The mother advances. She does not rush. She does not panic. She digs beneath the hive, claws cutting through soil and root. Stings land against her thick skin. She endures them without hesitation. The cub watches. Honey is revealed, rich, dense, nourishing. Pain and reward coexist. Another lesson is learned. As the cub grows, the bond changes. The mother allows more distance. She no longer intervenes immediately. Mistakes become more severe, consequences more real. This is deliberate. Independence is not granted. It is forced. The cub's body changes. Muscles thicken. Skin toughens. Confidence replaces hesitation. Movements become efficient. Reactions sharpen. The world no longer feels impossibly large. It feels challenging, and that is acceptable. One night, without ceremony, the mother leaves. There is no farewell, no signal. When the cub wakes, the den is empty. The scent fades quickly. The honey badger is alone. This is not abandonment. This is graduation. The land does not acknowledge the moment. It offers no recognition. Hunger arrives on schedule. Danger continues without pause. The young honey badger steps forward anyway. Its life has begun.
The night air feels different when there is no familiar scent beside you. The young honey badger stands at the den entrance, nose lifted, reading the invisible messages left behind by wind and soil. The mother's presence is gone, not nearby, not watching. Gone. There is no confusion, no panic. The world has always demanded action. This moment is no different. Hunger arrives first. It always does. The honey badger moves out into the dark, low to the ground, claws clicking softly against stone. The land is unfamiliar beyond the small territory once shared. Every step forward is untested ground. Scents overlap: rodent, reptile, insect, predator. The honey badger does not sort them emotionally. They are information, nothing more. A rustle in the grass. The body stiffens, the head lowers, muscles coil. A mouse breaks cover. The chase is short and awkward. The honey badger lunges too early, misses, adjusts, and strikes again. This time, the grip is firm. The movement ends. Food is secured. Success is not celebrated. It is consumed. The days that follow are repetitive, demanding, and unforgiving. The honey badger eats what it can find: insects uncovered by digging, eggs stolen from shallow nests, small mammals caught through persistence rather than speed. Failure is frequent. Hunger is constant. But patterns begin to emerge. Certain areas hold more life. Certain times of day are safer. Certain scents signal opportunity. The land becomes a map.
Digging becomes a central skill. The honey badger's claws are not delicate tools. They are instruments of force. Soil flies backward in powerful strokes. Burrows collapse. Creatures scatter. Sometimes the digging leads to nothing. Sometimes it reveals prey that thought itself secure. The lesson is simple. Safety is temporary. The honey badger begins to move farther each night. It does not claim territory through scent marking or display. Its presence is defined by activity, not ownership. This land is shared unwillingly by everything that survives here. Encounters are inevitable. One night, a snake coils defensively near a rocky outcrop. The honey badger pauses. The snake strikes first. Fangs connect, venom delivered, pain immediate and sharp. The honey badger recoils, then advances again, relentless. Thick skin limits damage. Reaction time closes the distance. The struggle is brief. When it ends, the honey badger eats. Later, the venom takes effect. Movement slows. The body grows heavy. The honey badger retreats to a shallow burrow and waits. Hours pass. By morning, it rises again. The body adapts. Another lesson is learned. Pain does not always mean death.
The reputation of fearlessness does not come from ignorance of danger. It comes from understanding risk and proceeding anyway. The honey badger does not seek conflict, but it does not avoid it either. As weeks become months, confidence settles into the body. Movements become efficient. Choices become deliberate. The honey badger learns when to press forward and when to disappear underground. It learns that darkness is not an obstacle, but an ally. Its senses fill the gaps sight cannot. Smell becomes a guide through space and time. Tracks tell stories. Droppings announce recent activity. Broken grass marks passage. Nothing is wasted. Larger animals begin to appear. A jackal watches from a distance, curious but cautious. The honey badger does not alter its path. It continues digging, unconcerned. The jackal approaches closer, testing. The honey badger turns suddenly, jaws open, posture explosive. No attack follows, just warning. The jackal retreats. The message is clear.
Not all encounters end this way. One night, a group of hyenas crosses paths with the honey badger near a carcass. They are larger, stronger, coordinated. The honey badger does not challenge them. It waits. When the hyenas move on, leaving scraps behind, the honey badger approaches without hesitation. Survival is not dominance, it is timing. The seasons change. Rains arrive, transforming the land. Insects multiply, the ground softens. Digging becomes easier. Food becomes abundant. The honey badger thrives. Then the rains leave. The ground hardens. Prey retreats deeper underground. Hunger sharpens again. The honey badger adapts without complaint. Bees return as a target. The honey badger approaches hives with practiced precision now, digging beneath, enduring stings, consuming honey and larvae alike. Thick skin and stubborn persistence make what seems impossible routine. Pain is temporary. Nutrition lasts. With maturity comes solitude. The honey badger does not seek companionship. It does not form packs. Independence is not loneliness. It is efficiency. Encounters with other honey badgers are brief and tense. There is no social bonding here, only assessment. They part ways without conflict.
The land begins to change. Strange smells appear. Oil, metal, fire. Paths harden unnaturally. Noisy creatures move through the area in large groups, leaving behind refuse and destruction. Humans. The honey badger does not understand them. It only understands impact. Some encounters are dangerous. Traps, dogs, barriers that do not yield to claws. The honey badger learns caution here. Not fear, but calculation. Some areas are avoided. Others are exploited. The honey badger discovers easy food near human settlements. Chickens, scraps, waste. Risk increases, but so does reward. Each visit is a gamble. Sometimes it pays off. Sometimes it nearly ends everything. Experience accumulates. By now, the honey badger is fully grown. Its body bears scars, torn skin healed thick, patches of fur uneven. Each mark is a record of survival. Strength has peaked. Confidence is complete. This is the stage the legends are built from. When threatened, the honey badger does not retreat easily. It stands ground, emits warning sounds, lashes with teeth and claws if necessary. Larger animals hesitate, confused by the lack of submission. Many choose easier prey. The honey badger remains. But dominance is not the goal. Eating is. Living is. Tomorrow is. As time passes, the honey badger settles into a rhythm. Patrol, hunt, dig, rest, repeat. The land is known now. Its dangers predictable. Its opportunities familiar. By now, the honey badger is fully alone. The land no longer feels unfamiliar. Every scent carries meaning. Every disturbance in the grass suggests intent. The badger moves with purpose, not urgency, conserving energy, conserving strength. Survival has shifted. It is no longer about learning what the world is. It is about deciding how to move through it. The honey badger's range expands. Night after night, it travels farther, covering ground with surprising endurance. Its body is low, compact, built not for speed, but for inevitability. It does not chase often. It does not waste movement. It digs. It waits. It takes what the land provides. And when the land resists, it adapts. The reputation begins quietly. A snake disappears from a burrow it once occupied. A nest is emptied beneath thorn and branch. A carcass left behind by a larger predator is claimed without hesitation. Other animals notice, not because the honey badger is loud, but because it does not behave as expected. When confronted, it does not flee immediately. When threatened, it does not submit. When challenged, it evaluates. This alone changes the balance.
One evening, the honey badger encounters a predator larger than itself. The air shifts. The scent is heavy, confident, accustomed to dominance. The ground vibrates with measured steps. Most animals would retreat. The honey badger stops. Its body stiffens. Hair rises. Teeth are revealed not as a threat, but as a statement. This is not fearlessness. This is refusal. The predator hesitates.
The cost of conflict becomes unclear. The honey badger does not advance. It does not back away. It holds its ground, eyes fixed, muscles ready. After a moment that stretches longer than comfort allows, the larger animal turns away. Not defeated, but unconvinced, the honey badger continues on. These moments accumulate, not through conquest, but through consistency. The honey badger survives encounters it should not. It escapes traps of tooth and claw not through strength, but through resilience, thick skin, flexible body, relentless determination. Wounds heal, lessons remain. Each conflict sharpens judgment. The honey badger's intelligence becomes evident in subtle ways. It remembers. It returns to places where food was once abundant. It avoids areas where danger lingered too long. It learns the timing of other animals, when they hunt, when they rest, when they leave behind opportunity. It learns humans as well. Strange creatures, loud, unpredictable, dangerous in unfamiliar ways. The honey badger does not understand tools or intent, but it understands patterns. Where humans are frequent, the badger moves cautiously. Where they are absent, it moves freely. Adaptation is constant.
Digging becomes an art. The honey badger can break into hardened soil with precision, angling tunnels to collapse behind it, escape routes always prepared. It can unearth prey hidden deeper than most predators would bother to reach. Persistence replaces speed. Time becomes a weapon. Bees remain a challenge. Stings still hurt. The risk remains real. But experience has taught strategy. Approaching from below. Disrupting structure. Enduring discomfort for reward. The honey badger does not enjoy pain. It simply does not let pain decide. Territory is loosely defined. The honey badger does not defend boundaries aggressively, but it recognizes familiar ground. It moves confidently within it, leaving scent markers not as warnings, but as information. Others pass through. Some linger. Some leave quickly. Conflict is avoided when unnecessary, engaged only when unavoidable. This balance preserves energy, the most valuable resource of all. With time, the honey badger reaches its peak. Its movements are efficient, its reactions immediate, its decisions rarely hesitant. The scars on its body are not signs of recklessness, but of survival repeated. This is the animal that inspires stories. But the stories exaggerate. They speak of rage, of madness, of endless aggression. The truth is quieter. The honey badger is not angry at the world. It simply accepts it exactly as it is.
The seasons turn. Drought reduces prey, rain transforms the land. The honey badger adjusts without ceremony. It eats less when food is scarce. It travels farther when it must. There is no complaint, only response. Eventually, age begins to make itself known. Not suddenly, not dramatically, just enough to notice. Recovery takes longer. Joints stiffen after long nights. Risks are calculated more carefully. The honey badger avoids unnecessary confrontation now. Not from fear, but from wisdom. Experience replaces impulse. The land has changed too. Younger animals move through the territory now. Faster, less cautious. They test boundaries without understanding consequence. The honey badger watches them pass. It does not interfere. Its role is no longer to prove anything. The reputation remains, carried by absence as much as presence. Other animals still hesitate. The memory of past encounters lingers in scent and instinct. The honey badger continues on. Still independent. Still adaptable. Still alive. But time, like the land, does not stop. And the final phase approaches quietly.
The changes arrive slowly. At first, they are easy to dismiss. A pause before movement, a longer rest between foraging attempts. The honey badger still rises each night, still moves across familiar ground, still digs when hunger calls. But the body remembers every year it has lived. Strength remains, but it is no longer effortless. The skin is scarred and thick, a record of encounters survived. Muscles respond, though not as quickly. Recovery takes time now. The honey badger adapts, as it always has. Its range begins to shrink. Not from fear, but from calculation. There is no need to travel far anymore. The badger knows where food can be found with the least cost. It chooses efficiency over exploration, certainty over curiosity. The land feels smaller, but more intimate. Every path is known, every den site familiar. Every scent tells a story already learned. Encounters with other animals change in tone. Younger predators test the boundaries. They approach with confidence sharpened by inexperience. The honey badger does not respond immediately. It watches. It waits. Sometimes it stands its ground, just long enough for hesitation to take hold. Other times it slips away quietly, choosing distance over confrontation. This is not weakness. It is conservation. Hunting becomes selective. The honey badger avoids prey that requires prolonged struggle. It focuses on what it can access quickly. Insects, small animals, remains left behind by others. Digging still happens, but with purpose, not excess. Pain is tolerated, but no longer ignored. Wisdom guides instinct now.
The seasons feel heavier. Heat lingers longer. Cold settles deeper into the ground. Rain reshapes familiar terrain, filling burrows, collapsing tunnels that once felt permanent. The honey badger responds, but more slowly. Still, it responds. Rest becomes more frequent. The badger spends longer hours in shelter, curled into the earth, conserving warmth and energy. Sleep comes easily, untroubled by urgency. Hunger is present, but muted. The drive to survive remains, though it has softened. Life is no longer a challenge to be conquered. It is something to be maintained. One night, the honey badger does not travel as far as usual. It chooses a den it has used before, not the safest, not the deepest, but familiar. The scent of its own presence lingers in the soil. The walls hold the memory of earlier years. It settles in. The world outside continues as it always has. There is no awareness of an ending, no reflection, no fear. Animals do not measure life by its length or its meaning. They exist within each moment as it comes. The honey badger breathes slowly. Its body rests deeper into the earth. Hunger fades into the background, replaced by stillness. The final moments are quiet. The land does not react. There is no signal, no pause in the rhythm of the ecosystem. Insects continue their work. Wind moves through grass. Other animals pass nearby, unaware. The honey badger does not wake again.
What remains is not absence. It is continuation. The tunnel collapses slowly, returning soil to soil. Nutrients move back into the ground. Insects arrive. Plants benefit.
The land absorbs what it was given. Nothing is wasted. Elsewhere, another honey badger is born. Blind, small, unaware. The cycle begins again. The honey badger's life was not defined by fearlessness. It was defined by adaptation, by intelligence, by an unwillingness to surrender to a world that does not care. And in that persistence, it became something rare. Not a legend, but a survivor. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the honey badger's fearless life, subscribe and drop a comment telling me what creature you want us to fearlessly explore next.